It was a beautiful day when the evening news suddenly broke a special report. The anchor's voice turned solemn, calm, deliberate, each word cutting through the air. We've just received news. A Malaysia Airlines aircraft, flight number MH370, has lost contact while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. At first, no one thought it was serious. Maybe a technical glitch, a brief signal loss. It had happened before. But as hours passed, the silence only deepened. No radio contact, no emergency signal, no response from the crew. That's when people began to feel a chill run down their spine. This wasn't just a routine incident. It was a catastrophe, one that would shake the entire world. 239 souls aboard a modern jet suddenly vanished into the night sky. No distress call, no debris, no answers. And ever since that moment, one haunting question has echoed through the years. Where did MH370 disappear to? Welcome to Curious Earth, where we explore the greatest mysteries of humankind. Today we'll revisit one of the most chilling and inexplicable disappearances in modern aviation history, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. When MH370 failed to arrive in Beijing, panic spread quickly. Families waited at the airport for hours, watching the arrival board, until the word delayed quietly changed to missing. Within days, 26 countries joined what became the largest search operation in aviation history. Satellites, ships, and aircraft scanned millions of square kilometers of ocean. But there was nothing. The ocean was silent. Then, data from the British satellite company Inmarsat revealed something shocking. MH370 had continued to fly for more than 7 hours after disappearing from radar. The data suggested the aircraft had ended its journey somewhere deep in the southern Indian Ocean, west of Australia. The search area spanned 120,000 square kilometers and cost over $150 million, but not a single piece of wreckage was found. It wasn't until July 2015, more than a year later, that a piece of MH370 finally appeared. A flaperon, part of the wing, washed up on the shores of Réunion Island in the Indian Ocean. Over the following months, more debris was found along the coasts of Mozambique, Tanzania, South Africa, and Madagascar. All matched the design of a Boeing 777 from Malaysia Airlines. Yet without the black box or flight recorders, investigators still had no idea why MH370 vanished or where it truly went down. One of the earliest explanations was the simplest: a massive technical failure. Some experts suggested that a fire in the electronics bay, possibly caused by overheated lithium batteries in the cargo, might have filled the cockpit with smoke. In panic, the pilots could have turned back toward Malaysia to attempt an emergency landing. That could explain the sudden left turn detected on radar. If the crew became incapacitated due to a lack of oxygen, hypoxia, the aircraft might have continued flying on autopilot for several hours until it ran out of fuel and crashed somewhere deep in the Indian Ocean. But critics say, if it was just an accident, why turn off the transponder and communication systems manually? That suggests deliberate human action. Another theory, MH370 was hijacked. Early investigations checked all passengers and crew for suspicious links. 2 Iranian passengers were found traveling with stolen passports, but they turned out to be refugees, not terrorists. Some believe the hijackers might have forced the pilots to fly toward a secret destination, possibly Diego Garcia, a U.S. military base in the Indian Ocean, but no distress call, no ransom demand, and no organization ever claimed responsibility. For an operation this complex, the total silence made no sense. The most controversial theory points directly to Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Investigators found on his home flight simulator a flight path eerily similar to MH370's final route, turning south into the Indian Ocean. His family described him as calm and professional, but there were unconfirmed reports of personal struggles and marital issues. In this scenario, Zahari may have locked the co-pilot out of the cockpit, turned off communications, and flown until fuel ran out. A deliberate act of suicide. Some aviation experts consider this the most plausible explanation, especially given the evidence of manual navigation after transponder loss. Yet without the black box, it remains speculation. there is no direct proof of his intent. One of the darker theories claims MH370 may have been accidentally shot down by a military force, and the incident was covered up. On the night of its disappearance, MH370 flew through airspace monitored by both Malaysian and Thai militaries near zones of U.S.-China tension in the South China Sea. There were even unconfirmed sightings of a large aircraft in flames near the Vietnamese coast. Supporters of this theory say that governments might have interfered with satellite data and redirected search areas to hide the truth. However, no conclusive evidence has ever supported a shootdown, and international radar data do not show any missile or explosion event. And finally, it came the wildest theories, born from the endless corners of the internet. Some believed MH370 had slipped through a wormhole. Others claimed it was abducted by aliens or had crossed into another dimension entirely. Fascinating to imagine, but without a single trace of scientific proof. These ideas reflect something deeper, humanity's desperate need to find meaning in the unexplainable. As of today, it's been over 10 years since that night. March 8, 2014. In that time, the world has witnessed other aviation tragedies, but none as haunting, as vast, or as heartbreaking as Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. 239 souls vanished that night, men, women, and children from 14 different nations. Families still wait for answers, for closure, for something more than silence. The search may have ended, but the mystery lives on, floating somewhere in the deep, cold Indian Ocean. This was one of the greatest mysteries of the century. I'm Curious Earth, and thank you for joining me in uncovering the truth behind the unknown. Until next time, stay curious and never stop searching.